Hey everyone! If you're loving these stories and want the full, uncensored versions, plus exclusive hotter content, come check out my Patreon. For just $4 a month, you get access to over 440 stories, 2 new parts every day, and way spicier, lemony scenes. Every single story is 100% custom and written by me from scratch, often based on your ideas and suggestions. You can even submit prompts and vote on what comes next. This story, along with several recent ones, was picked by a Patreon poll. Link is in the description or pinned comment. Join us and dive in. Enjoy the story. In the peaceful village of Konoha, years after the Fourth Great Ninja War had ended, life had settled into a rhythm of normalcy. Naruto Uzumaki, now 18 years old, had grown into a tall, muscular young man with the same spiky blonde hair and whisker marks on his cheeks that marked him as the son of the fourth Hokage. The village was thriving under Kakashi's leadership, and Naruto spent his days training, helping out with missions, and occasionally delving into the forbidden scrolls of the Uzumaki clan that his mother, Kushina, had preserved. Kushina, revived through some mysterious jutsu during the war's aftermath in this alternate timeline, lived with him in their modest home on the outskirts of the village. She was as fiery as ever, her long red hair cascading down her back, and her vibrant personality filling the house with energy. One lazy afternoon, Naruto returned home from the training grounds, his orange jacket slung over his shoulder, sweat glistening on his forehead. He had been experimenting with Fuin Jutsu, the sealing arts that ran in his family's blood. Inspired by tales of Hashirama's binding techniques, and some dusty scrolls he'd borrowed from the Hokage's library, he had developed a playful new seal. It was meant to be a prank, a temporary paralysis jutsu that froze the target in place, rendering them completely immobile but aware, for about an hour or until he released it. He tested it on frogs in the forest, watching them stiffen mid-jump, and even on himself briefly, feeling the odd sensation of his body locking up while his mind raced. "This is gonna be hilarious," he muttered to himself with a grin. "Imagine pulling this on Sasuke or Sakura. They'd freak out." But as he entered the kitchen, he found an unexpected opportunity. There, at the wooden table, sat his mother Kushina and her old friend Mikoto Uchiha. Mikoto, Sasuke's mother, had also been revived in this timeline's twists of fate, her graceful Uchiha features softened by years of peace. Her long black hair was tied in a loose ponytail, and she wore a simple kimono-style top that hugged her curves. Kushina, ever the energetic one, was mid-laugh, her red hair flowing wildly as she poured tea. She was dressed in her usual casual attire, a loose blouse and skirt that did little to hide her voluptuous figure. "Hey, Mom! And Mikoto! What's up?" Naruto called out, dropping his jacket on a chair. "Oh, Naruto! Back already? Mikoto and I were just catching up on old times. Want some tea?" Kushina beamed, her violet eyes sparkling. Mikoto smiled warmly. "It's good to see you, Naruto. You've grown so much." Naruto chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. An idea sparked in his mind. Why not test the prank here? It was safe, at home, and they'd all laugh about it later. "Hey, I learned this new technique today. Wanna see? It's super cool." The women exchanged amused glances. "Sure, show us, databang," Kushina encouraged. Naruto formed the hand seals quickly, ram, snake, tiger, and channeled a bit of chakra into a subtle Fuin mark that appeared briefly on the table. "Paralysis prank seal, activate." In an instant both women froze. Kushina's hand halted with the teacup inches from her lips, her mouth slightly open in mid-sentence. Mikoto was leaning back in her chair, one leg crossed over the other, her dark eyes wide but unblinking. The room fell silent except for Naruto's breathing. "Ha ha! Gotcha!" Naruto burst out laughing, clapping his hands. "You two look like statues. Don't worry, it'll wear off in like 40 minutes or I can release it sooner. This is payback for all those times you teased me as a kid, Mom." He waved his hand in front of their faces, but there was no reaction. Their bodies were completely rigid, muscles locked, but he knew from his self-test that they were probably conscious inside, able to see, hear, and feel everything. Kushina's blouse was slightly unbuttoned from her animated gestures earlier, revealing a hint of her ample cleavage. Her skirt had ridden up a bit, showing the smooth skin of her thighs. Mikoto's kimono had slipped open at the collar, exposing the elegant curve of her neck and the top of her chest. Naruto's laughter faded as his eyes lingered. He'd always known they were beautiful, Kushina with her fiery, curvaceous build, and Mikoto with her sleek, refined allure. But seeing them like this, helpless and frozen, stirred something unexpected in him. His heart rate quickened. This is just a prank, he told himself, but his gaze dropped lower. No one else was home. The door was locked. What if he just looked a little more? Touched a bit? Naruto stepped closer to Kushina first. He reached out tentatively, brushing a strand of red hair from her face. Her skin was warm, soft. Emboldened, he traced his finger down her cheek, then to her neck. Her pulse was steady under his touch. "Mom, you're so pretty up close," he whispered, feeling a warmth build in his groin. Turning to Mikoto, he did the same, his hand lingering on her shoulder. Her black hair felt like silk. "And Mikoto, Sasuke's lucky to have a mom like you." The prank was evolving into something else. Naruto's mind raced with forbidden thoughts. The taboo of it all made his hardness twitch in his pants. He decided to push further. "Okay, just a peek. No harm, right?" With trembling hands, he unbuttoned Kushina's blouse slowly, button by button. The fabric parted, revealing her lacy red brow that strained against her large, full chest. They heaved slightly with her shallow breaths, the only movement allowed by the seal. Naruto's breath hitched. "Wow! Mom, these are incredible!" He cupped one gently, feeling the weight and softness. Even frozen, her nipple hardened under the fabric at the touch, a natural bodily response. "Does that feel good?" "I bet it does." His thumbs circled the peak. Moving to Mikoto, he loosened her kimono tie, letting it fall open. Her chest was perfectly shaped, encased in a black brow that matched her elegant style. Naruto squeezed them lightly. "You're both so hot. I can't believe I'm doing this." The bulge in his pants was now undeniable. Naruto adjusted himself, glancing around guiltily even though they were alone. "This is crazy. I should stop." But he didn't. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Naruto stepped back, his heart pounding with a mix of exhilaration and fear. "Okay, time to end this." He formed the release seal. "Paralysis prank seal, deactivate!" In a rush, both women gasped, their bodies unlocking. Kushina dropped the teacup, spilling tea everywhere, her face flushed and breathing heavy. Mikoto slumped forward, then straightened, her kimono disheveled. What happened?" Kushina stammered, her voice hoarse, violet eyes locking onto Naruto. Mikoto's dark eyes widened in shock, her cheeks burning red. "Naruto, my body feels strange." "Did you?" Naruto forced a nervous laugh. "It was just a prank seal. You were frozen for like 40 minutes. Nothing else, I swear." But his eyes darted away, guilt evident. Kushina stood shakily, her skirt stained, a strange heat in her core. "Naruto, what did you do to us, Databane?" Her tone was a mix of anger and something deeper. Mikoto adjusted her clothes. "This isn't funny. Explain yourself." Naruto swallowed hard. He had tasted power, and now the consequences loomed. But deep down, a part of him wondered if he could do it again. The prank had awakened something irreversible. As the sun set outside, the house felt smaller, charged with secrets. Naruto's joke was just the beginning. The morning after the prank, at home, Naruto woke up with a mix of guilt and exhilaration buzzing in his veins. He hadn't slept much, replaying the events with Kushina and Mikoto in his mind. His mother had been furious at first, demanding explanations, but there was an odd undercurrent in her eyes, something like confusion mixed with lingering heat. Mikoto had been quieter, her Uchiha composure cracking only slightly as she adjusted her clothes and left hastily. Neither had outright accused him of anything beyond the freeze, but Naruto knew they felt something. The disarray, the strange sensations, it was impossible to ignore. Yet they hadn't pressed further, attributing it to a peculiar side effect of the seal. Or so he hoped. By breakfast, Kushina acted normal, if a bit distant, scolding him lightly about using forbidden jutsu recklessly. "Don't pull that again, Databane. Next time, I'll seal you myself." But her cheeks flushed when their eyes met, and Naruto's heart raced. The power of the seal was addictive. He could control anyone, make them helpless, and indulge without immediate consequences. The thrill had awakened a darker side in him, one he hadn't known existed. As he wandered the streets of Konoha, trying to shake off the thoughts, an idea struck. Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, was back in town after a diplomatic trip. She often relaxed at the village's hot springs bathhouse, especially with her assistant Shizen. Naruto had legitimate reasons to visit, asking for training advice on medical ninjutsu or chakra control. But deep down, he knew why he was heading there, to test the seal again. The bathhouse was a serene oasis on the edge of the village, steam rising from natural hot springs divided into men's and women's sections. Mid-morning meant fewer visitors. Naruto slipped in through the back, using a simple hinge to disguise himself as a female attendant briefly to scout. In the women's private onsen reserved for high-ranking kunoichi, Tsunade lounged in the steaming water, her towel barely covering her massive chest. Her long blonde pigtails were pinned up, and her green eyes were closed in relaxation. Shizen sat nearby on the edge, dipping her feet, her short black hair damp, wearing only a thin yukata that clung to her curves. Naruto dropped the hinge once inside a changing room. His heart pounded. This is riskier, but if it works... He formed the hand seals quietly, channeling the fuin into a small pebble he tossed into the water near them. Paralysis prank seal, activate! The effect was instantaneous. Tsunade froze mid-sigh, her arms resting on the pool's edge, body submerged up to her chest. Shizen stiffened, her yukata slipping open slightly, one leg extended into the water. The steam continued to rise, masking any sounds. Naruto peeked in, grinning nervously. "Lady Tsunade? Shizen? You okay?" No response. He stepped closer, the humid air thick with floral scents. "Haha, gotcha! This is for all those times you slugged me during training, Tsunade-sama." But as before, laughter gave way to curiosity. Tsunade's towel had floated away slightly, revealing the full glory of her enormous chest, pink nipples pert in the warm air. Her body was a masterpiece, toned from years of battle, yet plush in all the right places, her hips wide and inviting under the water. Shizen's yukata gaped, showing her perky chest and the curve of her hips. Naruto's member stirred immediately. "No one's around. The seal lasts 40 minutes. I could just look." He knelt by the pool, his hand hovering over Tsunade's shoulder. The skin was silky, warm from the onsen. "You're the strongest woman alive, and now you're like a doll." He traced his fingers down Tsunade's neck to the valley between her breasts. They were heavy, soft yet firm, jiggling slightly at his touch. "These are legendary." Her nipples hardened as he rolled them between his fingers, a reflexive response. Turning to Shizen, he tugged her yukata open fully, exposing her naked form. She was slimmer than Tsunade but still curvaceous, with pale skin and dark nipples that stood out. Naruto cupped her chest, squeezing gently. "Shizen, always so proper." The erection in his pants demanded attention. Naruto glanced around. No one. The bathhouse was empty this hour. "Okay, a little more won't hurt." He stripped off his clothes, his hard length springing free. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Naruto collapsed back into the water, spent but satisfied. That was intense. reality crept in as he caught his breath. He redressed them hastily, towels wrapped, yukata tied, though the evidence would be noticeable once they moved. Better end it before someone comes. He released the seal. Paralysis prank seal, deactivate! Tsunade gasped, splashing as her body unlocked, nearly slipping into the water. Shizen yelped, clutching her yukata, face crimson as she felt the soreness and warmth between her legs. What the, Naruto? Tsunade roared, her green eyes blazing. She stood shakily, towel slipping, revealing her flushed body. You little brat! Was that your doing? Shizen's hands trembled, covering herself, a mix of shock and unexplained heat in her dark eyes. My body, it feels like, what happened? Naruto backed up, feigning innocence. Just a prank seal. You were frozen for a bit. Nothing else, I promise. But his smirk betrayed him slightly. Tsunade narrowed her eyes, feeling the sticky warmth inside her. This isn't over, kid. Explain yourself properly, or else. Yet, there was a curious glint, as if piecing together sensations. Shizen blushed deeper, avoiding eye contact. The bathhouse air hung heavy with unspoken arousal and tension. Naruto slipped away, heart racing. The prank was escalating, and he craved more. The days following the bathhouse incident blurred into a haze of adrenaline and secrecy for Naruto. He couldn't stop thinking about it. Tsunade's furious glare mixed with unspoken confusion, Shizen's flushed embarrassment, as she hurriedly covered herself. They hadn't pursued him further, at least not yet. Perhaps they dismissed the lingering sensations as a bizarre after-effect of the seal, or maybe they were too mortified to confront it head-on. Either way, Naruto felt invincible. The paralysis prank had evolved from a silly joke into a tool of ultimate control, and the rush of dominating powerful women was intoxicating. Guilt still nagged at him in quiet moments, but it was drowned out by the thrill. The Ninja Academy seemed perfect, familiar ground, low traffic after hours, and a mix of nostalgia and risk. Naruto remembered his days as a student, pranking Iruka-sensei endlessly. Now, at 18, he could drop by under the pretense of reminiscing or seeking advice on teaching genin. Rumors had it that today was a small gathering to discuss curriculum updates. Among them were Kushina Yuhi, the genjutsu specialist with her alluring red eyes and curvaceous figure, Anko Mitarashi, the wild, seductive Tokubetsu jonin known for her skimpy outfits and bold personality, and Yugao Yuzuki, the stoic ANBU operative who occasionally taught advanced stealth classes, her lithe body hidden under form-fitting attire. Naruto arrived as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the academy grounds. The building was mostly empty, students long gone. He slipped into the main classroom, hearing voices from the staff room adjacent. Peeking in, he saw them, Iruka at the head of the table, scribbling notes, Kushina leaning against the wall, her black hair cascading down, Anko lounging with her feet up, munching dango, and Yugao sitting primly, her purple hair tied back. Hey everyone! Long time no see! Naruto burst in with his trademark grin, startling them. Iruka looked up, smiling warmly. Naruto! What brings you here? Come to volunteer for a lecture? Kushina chuckled softly. Always the energetic one. Anko smirked, eyeing him up and down. Heh, kid's grown. What's up, fox boy? Yugao nodded politely, her expression neutral. Naruto rubbed his neck sheepishly. Just wanted to chat about old times. Oh, and I learned this new Fuinjutsu trick. Wanna see? It's harmless, promise. Iruka raised an eyebrow. As long as it's not explosive like your last trick. Naruto laughed, forming the seals discreetly. He channeled the chakra into a subtle mark on the floor under the table. Paralysis prank seal, activate! In a blink, all four froze. Iruka's pen halted mid-stroke, his face stuck in a mild smile. Kurina's arms crossed rigidly over her chest. Anko's dango stick dangled from her open mouth. Yugao's hands rested on her lap, eyes unblinking. The room went eerily silent, save for the distant chirp of crickets outside. Naruto's laughter echoed. Haha! You all look hilarious! Iruka-sensei, you're like a statue again, just like when I painted your face as a kid. He waved his hand in front of their faces, no reaction. The seal worked perfectly, even on multiple targets. But as his eyes scanned the women, the prank shifted. Kurina's Jonin vest hugged her full chest, her skirt short enough to tease her thighs. Anko's mesh top and miniskirt left little to the imagination, her toned legs sprawled invitingly. Yugao's A&B uniform clung to her athletic frame, hinting at the curves beneath. His heart raced. This was riskier than home or the bathhouse. Someone could walk in any moment. The academy wasn't locked, and evening patrols passed by. But that danger only heightened the excitement. Okay, just a quick look. No one's coming. He locked the door first, drawing the curtains. Approaching Iruka, he patted his shoulder. Sorry, sensei, but you're not my type. You'll just have to watch, or not. Turning to the women, he started with Kurinai, the elegant genjutsu mistress. Kurinai-sensei, always so composed. He unbuttoned her vest slowly, revealing a lacy black bra straining against her ample chest. Her skin was pale and smooth. Naruto's fingers trembled as he cupped her breasts, feeling their weight. These are, wow! So soft. Even paralyzed, her nipples perked under the fabric, responding to the touch. Moving to Anko, he grinned. You, on the other hand, are always teasing. Her mesh top was easy to lift, exposing her braless chest, perky and firm, with dark nipples already hardening. Naruto squeezed them gently, thumbing the peaks. The bulge in his pants grew insistent. The clock ticked, 35 minutes left on the seal. Plenty of time, but the public setting made him cautious. All right, ladies. Let's make this interesting. Starting with Kurinai, Naruto parted her frozen legs, her skirt riding up to reveal thigh-high stockings and black panties. Her red eyes stared blankly. He traced his fingers up her thighs, feeling the warmth. Her panties were simple lace, a damp spot forming already. Hooking the fabric aside, he exposed her neatly trimmed bush and pink folds, glistening faintly in the dim light. Naruto's breath quickened, his hardness straining. He leaned in, inhaling her musky, floral scent. His tongue flicked out tentatively, lapping at her slit. Sweet and tangy. He delved deeper, swirling around her button, feeling it swell under his attention. Kurinai's body betrayed her, inner walls twitching slightly, more wetness coating his tongue. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Naruto stepped back, wiping his mouth, his length still hard and slick. Iruka and Yugao remained frozen, the room charged with unfinished tension. A distant footstep echoed in the hallway. Someone patrolling? His heart skipped. Shit, better hurry. But the allure of Yugao's stoic form pulled him next. This prank was spiraling, and he loved every second. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me and gives me a huge boost of motivation. Your support keeps me going. Naruto's pulse thundered in his ears as he stood in the dimly lit staff room, the scent of chalk dust thick in the air. The distant footsteps from the hallway had faded, probably just a janitor or a late patrol, but the close call had him on edge. Every second felt borrowed. The seal still had about 25 minutes left, enough time to continue, but not enough to linger. His eyes locked on Yugao Yuzuki. The Anbu Kunoichi sat perfectly straight in her chair, hands folded in her lap, purple hair cascading down her back like a dark waterfall. Her form-fitting uniform hugged her athletic yet curvaceous body, slender waist flaring into rounded hips, toned legs crossed at the ankles. Her dark eyes stared forward, unblinking. Yu-chan, he whispered, using the nickname he'd heard Asuma use once. Always so serious. Let's loosen you up a bit. He approached slowly, hands shaking with anticipation. First, he unzipped the front of her ANBU vest, peeling it open to reveal a simple black sports bra underneath. Her chest was modest but perfectly shaped, firm from years of training, nipples already pebbled from the cool air. Naruto swallowed hard, cupping them gently. So perky and strong. Her skin was smooth, slightly cool, a faint shiver running through her frozen form as he thumbed the sensitive peaks. His throbbing length demanded attention. The risk was intoxicating. Iruka frozen right there, potentially aware of every sound. The thought made Naruto's stomach twist with dark excitement. He tugged Yugao's pants down her hips, the fabric catching briefly on her toned thighs before sliding to her ankles. No panties, typical ANBU practicality. Her heat radiated, already glistening faintly in the low light. Even here, you're prepared for anything, or anyone. Naruto knelt, spreading her legs carefully. The chair creaked. He inhaled deeply. Clean, with a hint of her natural musk. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. Breathing heavily, Naruto turned back to Anko. She was still sprawled in her chair, miniskirt hiked up, heat exposed and glistening from earlier teasing. The dango stick lay forgotten on the table. Can't leave you hanging, Anko-chan. You've been waiting patiently. He lifted her easily, her body light despite her curves, and laid her flat on the large staff table, legs dangling off the edge. Her mesh top was already pushed up, chest bare and heaving slightly with shallow breaths. Naruto spread her legs wide. Her heat was swollen, ready, a bead of arousal at her entrance. You always act so tough, but look at you now. He rubbed his still hard length along her slit, coating himself in her juices. The room reeked of sex. Nectar dripped, staining the table, chairs, floor. The women were disheveled, clothes askew, faces flushed, bodies glistening with sweat and arousal. He quickly tried to fix what he could, pants pulled up, though soaked, tops adjusted, skirts lowered. But the evidence was everywhere. Iruka remained frozen, pen still in hand, smile unchanged. Time to go, Naruto muttered, heart hammering. He formed the seal. Paralysis prank seal, deactivate! The room exploded into chaos. Iruka gasped, dropping his pen. What? Kurinai lurched forward, clutching the desk, legs shaking. What the hell? Anko slid off the table, landing on wobbly knees, hand between her legs. Oh fuck! I'm full, that brat! Yugao straightened slowly, expression unreadable but cheeks burning crimson, wetness trickling down her thigh. All four women stared at Naruto, then at each other, then down at their disheveled states. The realization hit like a kunai. Naruto backed toward the door, forcing a grin. Just a prank. See ya. He bolted, slamming the door behind him, sprinting through the darkened academy halls as shouts erupted behind him. Get back here, Naruto! You little pervert! But he was already gone, disappearing into the night, pulse racing, mind spinning. The prank had gone further than ever. And now four more knew something had happened, something they couldn't quite explain, yet couldn't deny. The village would never be the same.